Come here, come here. A little birdie told me that you want to get into fantasy. Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to A Basic Girl's Guide to Fantasy. One thing about me, my favorite genre ever is fantasy. And that's truly what made me fall in love with reading. So I want to give that amount of love that I know I have for fantasy to you. So if you're a romance girly or just a nonfiction girly and you're like, I wonder what reading fantasy is and where I should start, well, let me tell you. If you're already a fantasy reader, or even if you're in the book space, you're most likely have heard these books already. But if you've heard them, that means it's for a good reason. Let's get to it. I get it. Fantasy can feel intimidating, and then there's new locations, there's new concepts, there's magic, there's dragons, there's all these things that you need to focus on and get a lot more characters, a lot more subplots, a whole bunch of things going on. So maybe starting off with a giant series like my baby Throne of Glass won't be the smartest thing. Maybe you want to start off with singular books or duologies or maybe even trilogies. So we're gonna go in order from that. And don't you worry, we're gonna get to Throne of Glass. Let's start off with duologies. Duologies are 2 books, nice and easy, bam, you love the first one, you eat the second one up, and the story closes off. Nice and easy. It's not as intimidating as stepping into a 7-book series or more. If you want to do the Shadow Hunter series, they're big. They're intimidating. I get it. So let's start off with the duologies. The first book that I recommend is going to be Divine Rivals. It's Letters of Enchantment duology. The first book is Divine Rivals, and then the second book is Ruthless Vows. Why I recommend this as a first book is because it's very simple. There's a lot of magical elements, but it's placed in a very real world setting compared to other books where they could be completely different kingdoms and they can look completely different. This is more back in the day war. It's rivals to lovers. They're both workplace rivals in a say. They're both writers for a news column. It's cute. Turns out they both have magical typewriters and they're writing to each other, and it just goes down from there. Magical typewriters, love letters, rivalry, it's just this whole thing. War, it's great. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go into it. You're gonna read it so quick. The books aren't even that long. They're like 350-ish to 400 pages. That's nice and easy. You can finish it and you can go right into the second one. I love the first one just as much as I love the second one. So both are great, because you don't want to read a good book and let it fall off a cliff. The second duology that I recommend is going to be the Shepherd King duology, starting off with One Dark Window. Now this is a step up from Divine Rivals in my opinion, just because there's a lot more magic within it. There's a magic system. The magic system is so unique in this book, and I absolutely love it, and I think that's a general consensus that most people like it. There's cards. Think like a deck of cards, and only a certain amount of cards are made, and each card gives you special powers. And our main character, Elspeth, ends up getting the fever. If you get a fever, you either die or you come off with certain symptoms. She ends up living, and she can absorb the power of whatever card she touches. And then it all goes from there. The magic system is unique, but it's simple to understand. The romance is great. It's kind of enemies to lovers. You're gonna see that a lot in fantasy. If it broke, don't fix it, you know? The aesthetic of this one is also on the darker tone, which can be very interesting depending on what kind of romances you were originally interested in. But I genuinely enjoyed it. And it's not even just the romance, the plot itself, the dynamics between, let's just say, Elspeth and the Nightmare. If you know, you know. It's gut-wrenching, but also an amazing quick read. The great thing about it is the first one and the second one are equally as good. That's what I love about duologies. It's hard to mess up. Trilogies can get tricky. Trilogies are known for the second book being a little mid compared to first and third, but duologies is what's so great about it. The second I find out it's a duology and it's good, you're mine. You're coming home with me. The third and final duology that I'm going to recommend to you is the Heartless Hunter series, which is amazing. The premise of this book is basically he's a witch hunter, she's a witch. Now, if that's not enemies to lovers to you, if that's not forbidden love to you, it's amazing. Our main character, she is a witch. She is basically a vigilante in the sense where she rescues witches that get captured and all these things. They have powers in a certain way. The magic system is easy to understand. The lore behind it, this book has a lot more world building, so that's why I recommend this order if you were to pick anything. Who am I saying? Read all of them in any order, whichever one you want. But honestly, it was so good. And a lot of the times what happens with like enemies to lovers, they become lovers by the end of book one. So what the hell is book 2? No babes, no babes. They're enemies basically the entire time, or it should be, or need to be enemies, but you know, you never know. It's a cat and mouse game, and sometimes you don't know who the cat is and you don't know who the mouse is. Like, the roles will reverse, and it's just so good. I went through the series so quick. And if you're coming from a romance background, a lot of these books that I just told you about have an element of romance to them. Some are more romance heavy than others. But honestly, as long as I got a good banter, I got a cute guy, then we're great. Moving on from the trilogy aspect to it, it's going to be a tried and true that everybody knows, and you've probably already heard of it, but it's going to be the Selection series. Now, if you haven't even read this in middle school or high school, which I personally read this back in high school, but I completely ate it up, and I feel like if I were to read it now in my 20s, I would still completely eat it up. It's in a dystopian atmosphere, so think Hunger Games, think Divergent. If you like that, it's great. And then make it The Bachelor. That's literally the only way I could describe it. Like, put yourself in the Hunger Games, but make it The Bachelor to be able to be the king's queen. So it's basically a whole courtship and wars going on at the same time. So it's very romance heavy, but also it's a fake love. Like, she has to act like she's in love with him when she actually really hates the king. Or so she thinks she does, but you gotta read, you gotta find out. There are novellas that go along with this series, but there's 3 books in the original series. I personally never read the novellas. I don't think I lost out on it, but if you truly love the series, why not? The second trilogy that I present to you, which I actually have in person with myself, and I bedazzled it, that's how much I like this series, is the Cruel Prince series. The 3 books, all 3 books are amazing. There's twists and turns. This book, now you're really stepping into what fantasy is, because the world is completely made up. It's a land of fae, so you're really sinking your teeth into fantasy, but this is a fantasy that's easy to understand, and you're getting your first taste of fae fantasy. If you know fantasy, they almost have faes all the freaking time. But I love me a good fae. It's a lot of fae politics. So this is actually a very politically heavy book and a lot of power dynamics going on between it. A lot of people would promote this book as a romantasy, but I really would just promote it as a fantasy that has a subplot of romance, in my opinion. Now, the actual plot. We have Jude. Jude is a human, and she's living in the world of fae. They don't really like humans, but she's there because her mother married a fae and had her with another man. They're so fun to read. It's a great floopy book, and it's bedazzled. Why would you not want to read it? If I like it so much to bedazzle it, go read it. I loved it. Now that you got your teeth sunken in to a longer series, and you're ready and know that you like fantasy and you want to commit to a longer series, let me tell you, let's start you off with one of the most popular books of 2025 and of 2024, and it's Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing currently has 3 books out, but there's going to be a 4th book, so it's not really a trilogy, so I guess I would consider it a trilogy for now, but it's actually not finished by all means. This is a war college. Dragons. You cannot communicate to your dragons. You get powers, and you're in a war college, so there's definitely a lot of a lot of death in a war college, I would assume. And there's romance in it. So everybody loves Aiden. And he's a shadow daddy. This is your first introduction to a shadow daddy. And you're like, Valentina, what is a shadow daddy? Well, you have to read it now to find out. And it's right in the name. You're gonna love it. Rebecca Yarros, she needs to hurry up with this next book, because the way that she left us off on this 3rd book, it's painful. The next book I will be talking to is another long series, and that's going to be the Shatter Me series. Now, if you have not heard of Shatter Me, just like Fourth Wing, just like the Selection, you've been living under a rock. And a new book, Tahar Mafi, is releasing soon. So this is the perfect time, if you have not read, to read it. I personally myself am going to reread it. What is the premise of Shatter Me? Shatter Me is a girl that's imprisoned because she has powers. What's her power? Her touch is lethal. If she touches you, you're dead. You're dead. You're gone. She gets taken, abducted, and then it's this whole enemies to lovers thing. Is it really enemies to lovers? Sometimes even a love triangle goes on. It's a whole fun thing. Again, it's a dystopian, so it gives Divergent vibes in a way where there's powers in it, which is amazing. It sounds great to me, in my opinion. Maybe you're gonna see a reading vlog about that at some point. Just maybe. You'll see. And last, but certainly not least, my favorite series of all time the Throne of Glass series. These are my children. This is a 6-star series. Absolutely love it. I will take zero criticism about Throne of Glass. Like, you genuinely cannot tell me. Throne of Glass is an amazing, amazing series. There's debate on when to read Assassin's Blade. My opinion is you should read Assassin's Blade after reading Heir of Fire and before going into Queen of Shadows. Why? Because there's a lot of characters and a lot of just like lore that comes up again when you're reading Queen of Shadows, and a lot of characters may pop up during Empire Storms. I will say nothing about this because you've already probably heard way too much about Throne of Glass, but you 100% should do it. Now's the time to start, and then I'm personally planning on going into ACOTAR soon just because ACOTAR 6 and 7 got released. So I really need to get my ACOTAR journey. That might be another reading vlog, we'll see. Truly, a fantasy is an amazing way of escapism. Whether you want to escape for good reasons or bad, it's an amazing time. You should really go into the genre. I love it. So I hope you like it as much. If you do end up reading any of these recommendations, please let me know. Or if you already have, let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any others that you would like to add to recommend to people, comment it down below. Subscribe. I love you guys. You saw me less chaotic today. I promise in the next one I'll be more.